All right, let's get back to today's hands-on task. Auto log into a website. This task can be clearly divided into 4 steps. Open the target web page. Enter the username admin. Enter the password admin. Click the login button. Next up, I'll walk everyone through building this flow step by step and weave in the concepts we covered earlier into each step. That way, you can really master these knowledge points through hands-on practice. Do you still remember the 3 components of a command we talked about earlier? Context, target, and action type. First off, let's get the context. Use Open Web Page to open the target web page, set the browser type to Google, paste the URL directly, and rename the resulting web page object to Playground Web Page. Run it, and it opens up successfully. We've got the context sorted. What's next? That's right, get the target. For this task, there are 3 targets: the account input field, the password input field, and the login button. Now let's capture them one by one. Click Capture Element in the lower right corner, hover your mouse over the account input field, hold down the curl key and left click, then rename it to Playground Login Username. Verify it. No issues. Follow the same steps to capture the password input field and the login button, and name them accordingly. For the final step, pick the command based on the action type. How do we fill the account and password into their respective input fields? Let me introduce the Fill Text Field command. It lets you enter content into a specific input field on the web page. Drag it in, and the web page object will be selected automatically. Set the target to the element we captured earlier, type admin, click Done, and run it. You'll see the value is entered successfully. But you might notice Automa inputs text 1 character at a time. If the content is really long, it'll definitely take a while to run. So is there a way to speed up input? Here's a quick tip. Double-click Fill Text Field to open advanced settings. The default input mode is Simulate Manual Input. Switch it to Clipboard Input for better efficiency. Run again, and you'll clearly see clipboard input is much faster. Next, we need to enter the password. We recommend using the Fill Password field here. Still, select the corresponding element. Type admin. The input behaves just like a real password field. Keep the input mode set to clipboard input. Then drag in a click element to click the login button. Run the whole flow once. And you'll successfully access the Playground homepage. At this point, our robot is basically set up. But you might notice a problem right now. The account and password are hard-coded directly in the flow. This design has 2 obvious risks. On one hand, if we need to change the account or password later, we have to go back to the original app to modify the command configuration. It's pretty inconvenient. On the other hand, embedding the account and password directly in the flow also raises the risk of information leakage a lot. Is there a way to avoid these risks? Absolutely. Next, I'll introduce a command that lets users interact with Automa, the Display Custom dialog. It pops up a dialog while the robot is running, so we can pass data to the robot through this dialog. Just type the name to search for it. Then press Enter to select, and a canvas will pop up. Here you can pick the components you want. Double-clicking and drag and drop both work. Our goal is to pass the account and password, so we need 2 text fields to store these 2 pieces of data separately. First, drag in a single-line text. Change the variable name to username, and later you can retrieve the input value via this variable name. Also change the title to username, which mainly serves as a prompt. Then drag in another single-line text and set both the variable name and title to password. Generally, commands like dialog are placed before the flow starts to avoid excessive manual intervention. The final key steps: assign the username value to the account input field and the password value to the password input field. Both values come from dialog result. the output variable of the display custom dialog, double-click fill text field, click FX, find dialog_result, expand it, and select username. Do the same to pass password from dialog result to fill password field. Now the account and password from the dialog are passed to their respective input fields. To avoid errors from repeated logins, log out manually first. Click Run. A dialog will pop up on the interface. Enter the correct account and password in the dialog, then click Done. Logging in. Execution completed, and the result matches our expectations. In this lesson, we successfully built our first functional robot. It automates the login process. I'm sure everyone now has a basic grasp of how to build an automation flow. Let's systematically recap the core concepts we covered. The final runnable robot we created is an app. Each step in the flow, like open web page or fill text field, is a command. A command has three components: context, target, action type. For this task, context is the web page object returned by open web page. Target includes input fields, the login button, and other elements captured via the capture tool. Actions like fill in and click are different operations on these elements. All objects involved web page object, interface elements, account, password, etc. are stored and passed via variables. A variable is essentially a data container with string, number, and list as the three most common data types. Mastering the above content gives you a solid foundation in automation. But if you want your robot to have decision-making skills and handle repetitive tasks automatically, you'll need to dive deeper into flow control logic. In the next lesson, we'll walk you through exploring conditional branching and loop structures, equipping the robot with even more powerful, intelligent processing capabilities. All right, that's a wrap for this lesson. See you next time.